As I record this, it's winter here in Colorado. We've had another series of snowstorms blow through this last week, and I've spent the last few days shoveling snow. It is definitely winter. When the weather gets like this, I like to remember what it's like in the summer times to go out in the canyons and the slick rock and look for snakes and toads and frogs. And I thought I'd make a video to try and convey how much fun that is and to remind myself of it as well, I guess. The genesis of this trip was something I'd seen a couple of years previously. I'd been out hiking on a bare sandstone ridge and come across a black-necked garter snake. He was stretched out on the sandstone, basking. I'd been wondering ever since then, why was he up on the slick rock out there in the open? Blacknecks like to eat amphibians. Maybe frogs and toads were breeding in the temporary pools of water? So in the fall of 2021, I headed back into the desert with my dog, Jack. We are on a quest for desert amphibians with songs in our heads and joy in our hearts. When we got to the site, we found plenty of tinajas. Some were even long-lived enough to have riparian vegetation. This pool in which Jack is refreshing himself, for example, has a sapling salt cedar growing in it. We hiked for several hours looking at every pool. We found diving beetles, chironomid larvae, lots of mosquito larvae, but no tadpoles. We were hot and tired and ready to give up. Maybe we'd gotten the timing wrong. We'd missed the tadpoles and the frogs and the toads. We're on our way back to the truck when we saw a cottonwood sapling growing up from the rock. That was strange, since cottonwoods usually like to grow in spots with lots of water. Was there a pool hidden there? We hiked over to check it out. Yes, there was a nearly dry plunge pool formed at the base of what would be a beautiful waterfall during rainstorms. The pool would be 6 or 7 feet deep when full, but right now it had only a few inches of water in it. And it looked like there were tadpoles. I climbed down into the nearly dry plunge pool to get a better look. When I got to the bottom, I found it was mostly shaded from the sun. Most of the tadpoles were jammed at the edge of the pool in a small crescent of sunlight. They were in that wonderful late tadpole stage when they sprout legs and think of leaving the water. So I'll bet that I was, indeed, too late to see tadpoles in the other pools. This plunge pool, sheltered on 3 sides from exposure to the sun, was probably cooler than those other, more exposed pools. And being cooler, its tadpoles developed more slowly than the tadpoles in the warmer pools. And I was here just as they were metamorphosing. So I was lucky to see these guys. I picked up one of the nearly metamorphosed tadpoles for a closer look. His tiny hands and feet and the strange, unlikely tail growing out of the back of their bodies. I'm just continually amazed by these things. I put the tadpole back in with the others, and then I climbed out of the plunge pool, back up to where Jack was waiting. As I reached the top, I saw movement near my feet. There were tiny, recently morphed toadlets hopping on the sand and mud. They looked like red-spotted toads. Red-spotted toads are often found in areas like these. Rather than bury themselves in sand and mud as many other toads do, red-spotted toads like to shelter in rock cracks. This all made sense. And it's probably what the black-necked garter snake had been doing up here so many years ago, looking for toads like these. As Jack and I hiked back to the truck, I thought about how lucky I was to live in a place like this and to see things like these. And now, as I listen to the wind blow and watch the snow coming down, I can't wait to get out into the slick rock and look for more this upcoming summer. I just cannot wait.